for tuning in. Please like, turn on notifications, subscribe, or share. Want to be a guest? Email podcast@tricountyareachamber.com.
Hey everybody, welcome into this episode of Chamber Chat Live. Before we begin, we'd like to thank our Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce 2021 Mission and Vision Partners, our MVPs. Their generous support is keeping the Chamber with programming throughout this pandemic and virtually, and quite honestly is able to provide opportunities like this, Chamber Chat Live, to bring to you. So if you take a look at some of the sponsors there, please feel free to reach out. If you have any insurance needs, there's Bodie Boardman there. Of course, accounting right now and the PPP, tax time, you have Maley as well. And then there's also Paid as well. And they just gave an economic update on Pottstown. So you can check any and all of them out as part of the Chamber sponsorship. So thank you once again to all those folks for sponsoring the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome into this episode, everyone. My name is Bill Vitiello. I am the Director of Institutional Relationships and Marketing at the Victory Bank in Limerick. And welcome again to another episode. I look at that countdown and I feel like we're really official with that. Before we launch live, you probably called me a little snippet with a smile on my face because I'm like, this is looking pretty legit. We did all right for ourselves here.
It's very cool.
Yeah. All right, everybody. So before we get into today's guest, I wanted to introduce Eileen. Eileen is the president of the Tri-County Area Chamber of Commerce, and we're going to do the President's Table segment today. Yes. Not your desk, because you're not at your desk. You're at your kitchen table. So.
I am at my kitchen table, and I'm happy to be joining you today. I hope everyone is staying safe. Hope we're able to catch everybody as they're flipping through Facebook and catching up on things to do if they're not out shoveling yet. So thank you for joining us today, and happy to share with you just a couple things that are coming up. I think we've talked briefly, and I actually have an idea out there for a future Chamber Chat show to talk about REACH, which is our women's program, Empowering and Connecting Women. And that group actually meets every other Tuesday morning for an informal session. We call it Coffee Chat. We've been doing that since the pandemic began. And we would invite you. REACH does not have to be attached to chamber membership, so I'd invite any woman out there who would like to join us. We do have a session tomorrow, but you can reach out or connect with us through the REACH Empowering and Connecting Women Facebook page that we actually have established. And then I want to invite everyone to do a member meetup and check-in. Those are informal sessions where we bring anyone from the membership together. Really replaces what we would have done as a normal business card exchange. Informal, there's no agenda. We really just discuss issues that members have. And that will be on Thursday from 10 to 11. It's a limited amount of opportunities or registrations because we want to keep the group small, and there are still some openings. So if you would like to join us for that, please feel free to reach out. And then one last comment I want to make is just the upcoming Skill Up session. We're trying to provide educational opportunities for members to either skill up themselves or their staff. And the first one we will be having in 2021 is on productivity and time management. And who cannot use that topic, right? Mm-hmm. So we're happy to be featuring John Whitehall on Tuesday, February 9th from 9 to 10:30. So we have a lot going on. There's more to come. Stay tuned to these shows for my president's desk, hopefully in the future, updates. And I look forward to staying connected with everybody.
Instead of the president's table. Look, I heard some noise in the background. Were you getting a lunch delivery there?
No, my husband always works from home. So he is back and forth. And my daughter is also a junior in college, but she has been home since the pandemic started and is actually starting her spring semester of her junior year. Her classes started today, but she's home for the spring semester. So yeah, a lot going on.
You got a lot of traffic going on there.
The dog was obviously was quiet though, which was nice.
That was good. That's good. It's okay if he barks. We just all kind of accept it. We know when you're working from home, right? So
exactly.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's awesome though, because we're able to do something like this with, same way we would always do it, no changes, and we're able to maintain this constant place in our audience's lives. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, and I'm also interested in the one event that you mentioned where you can skill up or skill up your skill set, I guess, for lack of a better
Yes.
phrase. I think in this time where we do have to do things virtually and we're not used to doing things as traditional as we have in the past, that it is a great opportunity to revisit some skills or maybe take on a new skill set. So I would be anxious to attend one of those as well. And
No, and again, I know you and I talked about it offline, but a perfect example, there are opportunities like that are available anywhere. And I know for Victory, you mentioned you have something similar coming up, different topic. But I think, again, the beauty that we've had from opportunities like this is people don't have to travel. So if you had problems with a commute time before to try and get to some of these events, now you don't have to worry about that extra component. So if there's opportunities that you can take advantage of that, save yourself a little bit of time, you may not have gone before, but now you'll go now, then that would be great.
absolutely,
So.
we should have your dog on as a guest next time.
We should.
Be a special guest.
He's zonked out on the couch right now. So.
I was going to say, unless you want to pull him off the couch, but maybe we shouldn't recommend that.
No, not right now.
All right.
If he was close by, I'd grab him, but yeah, no.
Gotcha. Well, thank you, Eileen. This has been from the president's table today instead of the
Yes.
president's desk. And right on the heels of Eileen making some mention of some announcements, I wanted to let you know something that Victory Bank had going on. Back in 2019, we started the Victory Bank Business Series. So this really was an opportunity for people, the community, to come in and listen to subject matter experts on various topics. We've talked about so many different things. But we're starting this back up in February. It's going to be on February 18th. It's a Thursday. It's going to be from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. And it is going to be tax and accounting issues during a pandemic. So all the business owners out there who need this advice, please feel free to RSVP. You can RSVP to rsvp@victorybank.com or just reach out to me directly. I'm happy to sign you up. But that's going to be presented by Dan Nickasher, who's a CPA and small business partner for RKL LLP. So thanks, Eileen, for letting me drop that in there. And thank you for...
Sounds like a great opportunity for the businesses in the community.
Yeah, we try to be informative as much as we can with the business series. And I think this is going to be a really good one. We already have a number of people registered. So, so it's a good thing. But thank you. Appreciate that. Enjoy your day today.
Bye.
And make sure you listen to our next guest tips.
I will.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
I will stay on.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Let's bring in our next guest here. This is very timely for a number of different reasons. One, because we've been working from home for some time now. At least some of us have been. And then two, there's this stuff outside my window right now. If I could see it. Oh yeah, it's snow. So there could be some shoveling, issues there. So I would like to welcome my guest on the Chamber Chat Live today, Connor McCormick from McCormick Chiropractic. Connor, welcome.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure. Big shout out to you, Bill, and Eileen and Drew for making this happen. And I'm excited for more shows coming up.
Oh, we appreciate that. Thank you. And thanks for being a guest. I'm sure you got enough going on, especially a day like today. But let's get right into it because I think we have a ton to unpack here. So for those not familiar, can you tell us a little bit about you first and then tell us about McCormick Chiropractic, please?
Absolutely. So I'm a third generation chiropractor. I was pretty much born into it. I love taking care of people. I love sports, and we kind of melded that and blended that into what I do today. I work in a Pottstown office with my sister, my mom, and my father. Two of them are chiropractors, and we have an office in Elverson too. My little brother practices in King of Prussia. My wife practices in Phoenixville, so we're all over the place. So what we do at our office in Pottstown is we focus on structural corrective care and family care, and we've been doing that for 30 years. And we love our community, and we do our best to take care of everyone, especially on days like this. It's a tough week on your low back trying to shovel. So
Absolutely. Yeah, I've seen McCormick's got a number of different places, and I didn't realize 30 years you guys have been in business. That's pretty impressive. You see, Drew has the website pulled up there. What? You guys are closed today?
We're closed today. That's why
What
I'm
is
here.
going? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding there. There's a lot of people who are closed today, and for good reason.
Hey, that's a big shout out to our website crew for getting that up in time.
How about it, right? So there you can see Drew is scrolling through the website there. The nearest one, I guess, closest to Pottstown is the one in on South Hanover Street. Actually, isn't too far from my house. You're literally around the corner from me. So, but if you go to the top there, Drew, I think people can get a pretty good sense of the little tabs up there. They can read about us and the history and some of the services that they provide, along with some of the conditions they might treat. So, it's a good opportunity if you don't reach out to Connor directly and have that conversation with him. Maybe explore this website a little bit and see if chiropractic care might be an opportunity for you. So Connor, I want to ask you a number of different questions today. We've been working at home for quite a while. Again, at least the majority of us have. I need tips, man. I need tips. Our audience needs tips on working from home and the fatigue of the sitting. I'm just going to turn it over to you because you're the expert. Give us some guidance, please.
All right. I could have like a long dissertation on this, but I think I'm going to make it short and sweet and chunk it out so you guys can take something home today. So I think one of the biggest things that we don't think of is eye strain. So there's something called the 20-20-20 rule. So if you've been, I try to, every 20 minutes, try to stand up, away from your screen, away from your phone, look 20 feet away for about 20 seconds and focus on an object. That's going to really help with eye strain. That's going to help with neck pain, headaches, things like that. That's my first big tip. I mean, I couldn't emphasize that enough. Next one, motion is lotion. So set a timer. If you're setting a timer every 20, 30 minutes, set a timer on your phone or on your computer. I'm sure there's a million apps, or say, hey, Alexa, set a timer. That always works. And have yourself get up, move, maybe walk around, or one of my favorites, get up, find a bare wall and do a wall sit. Do a wall sit for maybe 15, 20 seconds. Really engage the glutes, engage the hams, the core, and make sure you have, you don't have to kill yourself sitting against the wall, but it really engage that lower body. That'll help pump blood flow back up to your heart. I couldn't stress that enough. And there's another position, you can look it up. It's called Brugger's position. Dr. Brugger, who's an orthopedic DO, who came up with this. And essentially, you squeeze your shoulder blades back, you externally rotate your arms, and you let your head drop back, and you breathe. You really open up that chest wall, extend your chest up, and you take about 10 to 15 breaths in that position. And it really helps reset your physiology. That's one of my favorite. Let's see. Another one is, yes, if anyone has an exercise band like this, I highly suggest getting one. They're a couple bucks at Amazon, Dick's, your local sporting goods store or something like that, and do some maybe isometric work. Isometric means you're not actually lifting, you're moving the muscle back and forth. You're engaging side to side or front to back. You can do that with your head. You can do that with your arms. If you go to TheraBand.com, there's probably 2,000 different exercises you can do, but keep it simple. Just a little bit of motion helps. You don't have to spend a long time. And I honestly, that's the key, along with doing the basics like staying hydrated. I mean, not enough people drink water in the winter. So I know, honestly, I worked from home today and I had a little bit extra coffee, and that's a diuretic. So, I mean, coffee's delicious, don't get me wrong, but it's diuretic that can get you dehydrated. And if you're dehydrated and then you're shoveling snow on a day like today, that's how you throw your low back out. So be really conscientious of that.
Yeah. So you mentioned some really great tips there, and and I can't help but think of relating it to me. So I apologize to the audience for being a bit selfish in this regard, but I really related to myself. I have a hard time sitting for an extended period of time. And I had to do that not last week, the week before. I was in virtual school all week, and it was really difficult to get up that every 20 minutes. So I can definitely speak to that. And again, I know there's a lot of people whose jobs are demanding, where it's difficult to see that window, or you are going to school and it's difficult to do that. But like you said, set a reminder on the timer. I have a little thing on my Apple Watch here where it reminds me to stand every hour. I know it's not every 20 minutes, but every hour. So at least that keeps me moving. So if you have some kind of reminder that you set for yourself, or again, just make it habit or routine, you're going to keep yourself a lot healthier. I never knew about the 20-20-20. I think that's pretty cool. I do find myself kind of staring out the window every once in a while just to get off of the computer screen, but it's not intentional. It's more unintentional. And I think I could probably be a little bit more intentional about that. And big shout out to staying hydrated. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Cheers. Yeah. That is absolutely a must. I could already feel like my skin's getting drier, and, you can feel it in your muscles when things start to tighten up a little bit. So, yeah, keeping hydrated is a good thing. So we appreciate those tips. Thank you so much. Wanted to now divert things to the obvious, and that's the snow that we have outside. A lot of us are probably going to take up a shovel and get to work on clearing our driveway or our walkway here. This can be a pretty dangerous time for some of us who maybe don't do this all the time. So if you wouldn't mind giving us some tips on best shoveling advice, I think it's very timely and would be very appreciated.
It's very appropriate. I can't believe it snowed today and that we're doing this, so I can't imagine a better timing.
Yeah.
One thing I kind of wanted to note on that I didn't hone enough. Well, first of all, a big shout out to the Visual Edge in Phoenixville. They're the eye docs who actually gave me that 2020 tip. So,
oh, nice.
Thank those guys.
I like
it. Yeah. And something that you should think about if you're going to shovel, if you're going to exercise, or if you have been sitting for an extended period of time and you haven't gotten up in a while, and you feel really stiff when you do get up and you really don't want to do the exercises I suggested, before you stand up, I'll make it short and sweet. Squeeze your butt. Engage your lower core, drive your legs out, really engage everything before you get moving. And that makes all of the difference in the world. It actually resets your physiology. It's almost like if you ever used, not everyone has, but if you ever driven or used a diesel engine, you can't turn that key and crank it right away. You have to let it warm up. I mean, it's wintertime. You got to warm your core and your lower body before you shovel. So that's step one before you get out shoveling.
Can I ask a question on that? This may seem like a really silly question, but I'm going to answer it. I'm going to ask it anyway, because when you're talking about your core, years ago, I started taking up physical exercise, and people are like, engage your core, engage your core, engage your core. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't know what this is supposed to feel like. So if you were describe the engaging your core to somebody, how would you describe it or instruct them to do it, besides what maybe you had said where you're engaging your glutes and legs, please?
Absolutely. So the best way I get patients to engage their lower pelvic floor or gluteal muscles is you find a wall and you visualize driving your low back against that wall. You don't have to have a really deep squat, maybe an eighth of a squat. Make sure your knees are not in front of your ankles, and you're driving your low back against that wall, along with driving your feet into the ground as if you're pushing the ground away from you, the floor away from you, with a little corkscrew at the end, and then finish it off with just trying to engage or squeeze your butt. If you can't do that, there's a lot of other ways you can build up, but that's one of the easiest ones that'll handle 95% of the people I see and that come into my practice. They can figure that one out.
Have you also heard of the, like, pretend like somebody's going to punch you in the gut, and you kind of like have to tighten up a little bit? To me, like, that's how I kind of feel. I'm going to try your technique. I'm going to try that.
You should.
But I also feel like for me to engage, it's like, yeah, somebody's ready to punch me in my stomach. That's how I engage my core.
So here's something really interesting. That's important. That's a good way to do it too. But also, I want you to focus on your breath. So if you've heard of this guy called Wim Hof, he's some crazy dude out and over in Europe. He does a lot of breathing techniques. You don't just want to hold your breath and hold and engage like that. You still want to have because there's different layers to a core of your body. There's an outer, there's an inner core, and that's a whole different topic. But you want to be able to engage your core like I'm doing right now and still talk, still be able to breathe. So when you are engaging your core or squeezing your lower body muscles, you want it so that you're not fatigued and you're not really straining, right? Because then that's how you pull muscle too. So you want to keep it short and sweet, but also make sure you're still able to breathe. And breath in itself is also super. Here he is, the Iceman.
The man himself.
The breath is also super important to stay balanced. Or let's say you were shoveling outside, trying to engage the core, engage the lower legs with a little bit of a half squat. And that kind of leads me into what I was going to say afterwards is a really good way to start shoveling is to chunk it up. Besides paying a neighbor or paying someone to do it for you, is do it, especially like today. I don't know if you saw, but it's heavier. It's a bit wetter. It's not that fluffy, powdery snow. So it's going to be deceptively heavy. So that means I'm going to be working hard the rest of the week taking care of people. But try to limit rotation and chunk it out in periods of time when you are shoveling. That'll really save your back. And if you do have a brace at home, definitely try to use one of those before you get out there. That's not a bad idea. That'll save yourself some agony afterwards.
Yeah, so you're spot on with what's this Drew says.
Yeah,
don't do it, outsource it. You're a local kid. He's not wrong. I mean, Drew's pretty intelligent. And for those of you who don't know, that is Drew Griffin from Delicious Marketing behind the scenes. He helps bring this podcast or this chamber chat, however you want to refer to it, to the public through Facebook and the other various channels. So thank you to Drew for doing that. But you're right. When you engage your core, I think it takes the load off of your back and just makes it so much more productive. I can't even tell you what a difference engaging the core makes. I mean, I'm thankful enough to have a snowblower, and I did the majority with the snowblower, but I did have to shovel this morning. And I was coming right off a workout. So like my core was big time engaged. Like I was ready, and seriously, I had no injury. I feel pretty good, but I know there's folks that don't get a chance to do it as often. So, and if you're really curious, I'm sorry, real quick, if you're really curious about Wim Hof, go ahead and look this dude up. I mean, this guy he's the real deal. Like he can run marathons barefoot. He takes ice showers for, minutes on end and can get through it. It's insane what the breathing does for you. But whose show is this? Is this mine or is this yours, Connor? Who's the guest today? Come on, let's get back on track here. So, all right. So what any other shoveling tips that you'd like to give our audience, please? So, all jokes aside, honestly, outsourcing it, find a local wrestling team. I know Steve DeRaflo helps out with the OJR team. Any local wrestler would definitely find this as a good workout today, because I know if they're not in school, they're not practicing, they would probably love to shovel your driveway for a few bucks. But yeah, honestly, limit rotation. That's a big one. I know that's a little harder to do. Try to switch hands. That's easier said than done, but typically most people use the right hand and the right side of dominant. So you're always going to be shoveling with your right hand and then throwing it typically to the left. So try to switch hands. That's going to help. Do a half squat or a quarter squat when you're getting down shoveling. That'll also help. And these little things like that just really make a big difference. And another note I wanted to touch on is that you were talking about hydration. Some people don't know that 80% of your muscles, 70-80% of your muscles are water. So you do need, if you're cramping up or you do throw your back out, if you could have been just dehydrated and had poor posture or structure when you were doing that workout or shoveling. So that's really key. So I'm going to ask you a hydration question. So can you describe the difference between, so let's say I'm sitting at my desk all day and I forget to drink water, and then I just guzzle a whole bottle of water instead of drinking water, let's say every half hour or every hour. Can you describe to me the difference in how your body absorbs that? Can you answer that? Or
yeah, absolutely. So
okay, thank you.
Essentially, when you down water like that, it puts a strain on your kidneys as opposed to sipping it throughout the day, and that can really reduce your mineral load or the electrolyte balance in your body. So you're exactly right, which you kind of hinted at, is you do want to sip throughout the day. If you don't have high blood pressure, I suggest adding a little bit of Himalayan sea salt to your food. That'll help replenish your mineral imbalance. Or, for instance, I installed a triple reverse osmosis water in my sink. They're on Amazon or Walmart, Home Depot, anything like that. And then you can add an electrolyte mix to several things of water throughout the day. That actually helps, and it removes all the other. I have city water, so it removes the other pollutants and things like that, BPA, that you don't want to be drinking in anyway. So, but yeah, it really stresses out your kidneys if you down it as opposed to just sipping throughout the day. So, don't honestly, and I do that. I do exactly what you just said. Before I get to work, I down water, and then I see people. I've got my mask on and our filters, and I have a break about 4 hours later where I down water again, just because that's the nature of my work. Don't be like me. Try to sip throughout the day. It's a lot better for your body. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, excellent and great tips. And I know we have a few more minutes left here, and we gave very timely tips, so I don't want to undersell those or gloss over them. But you are chiropractic care, and you're so much more than that too. But if you describe to me a little bit about what you do with the chiropractic care, I'll let folks contact you for everything else. Again, I know Drew brought up the website, and there are so many other things that they can connect with you about. But let's talk about the chiropractic care, please.
Absolutely. So what makes us different than most chiropractors in the area is that we focus on structural corrective care, and we've been doing family care for, like I said, 30 plus years. And what that is we find areas of your spine that aren't working properly, aren't moving properly, aren't functioning properly. And what that does, your spine protects your nervous system. If we adjust or give you exercises or hone in and add movement where movement should be to those areas, what happens is you function better, you move better, and you feel better. Your nervous system and your body's allowed to express itself better. Typically, we see, and I adjust infants, but I also adjust athletes. I adjust peds, elderly. I mean, anyone with a spine, that's pretty much who we take care of. And what really makes us different are our objective indicators. When we're looking at a case, it's not guessing work. We take x-rays. We use a tool that is thermography in our practice, and we find those specific areas that you need worked on, and we get it done. We get sick people well. We get people feeling better, people moving better, and it really lights me up because I happen to be one of those patients when my whole life. So I know I couldn't live without it. So I love providing that service for others.
Well, I know you're very consultative. You're not a rack 'em and crack 'em type operation over there. Little chiropractor humor there. Sorry, I had to throw that in. So Drew just has something here. I don't know if you can read that on the screen there. If someone does throw their back out or maybe sustains an injury, maybe their knee or their neck, what should they do? And how and when should they contact you? What's your best advice there? I almost feel like people probably would wait a few days, but you might have different advice. So go ahead, I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, absolutely. So our business line is 610-705-0201. I actually just this past couple months, I installed a text feature. So you can actually text that number as well as call. Just say, hey, this is Bill, and this is what happened. I slipped on ice, or I was shoveling my driveway and I threw my back out, or I hurt my knee walking up the stairs. What should I do? Or you can text me. My cell is 610-310-8659. And just we chat. Most people before they come in, they have questions, and we always host a complimentary consultation. You can come in and just sit down, chat with my father and myself, because a lot of people have questions about chiropractic, admittedly. So we're here to answer them, and if we can't help you, we send you to someone who can.
Yeah, we appreciate you being available and being open to sharing that number, because again, you don't you're not 30 years in the practice without caring about people. so thank you so much for doing that. Anything else you'd like to tell us about McCormick as we start to finish up here?
Yeah, big shout out actually to my sister who just joined our practice. And she just moved to Malvern, moved to the area. She moved up from Georgia. Hopefully, we're working on opening up a practice along the main line. So that's the newest, latest, greatest thing. And we also have our promotion coming up this February. We're working with a lot of small businesses called We Love Our Small Businesses. We're going to be gathering promotional items and things from our local small businesses that we'll be raffling off to our patient base, and just to try to give back and promote local.
And that's great. And as Victory Bank, we would love to give you a stack of cash to give away. But you and I would have to leave the country pretty soon.
Yeah, we probably would.
So my guest today has been Connor McCormick from McCormick Chiropractic. Connor, thank you so much for the tips today. Thank you for being available to be a guest. We greatly appreciate it, and all our best for continued success with the practice.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. You guys are awesome. You guys rock.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thanks once again to our 2021 Mission and Vision Partners, our MVPs. You can take a look at them on the screen there. We encourage you to engage with one or any one of those organizations. Again, many thanks to them for promoting the Chamber. So once again, that has been this episode of Chamber Chat Live. Please feel free to share this episode. You can find this Chamber Chat Live on a number of different channels: Pottstown Local, Limerick Local, News and Events. Please feel free to share it wherever you want. We're also on YouTube too, so even all the bloopers will be on YouTube. So thank you once again for tuning in today. And until we connect again, my name is Bill Vitiello. I'm the Director of Institutional Relationships and Marketing at the Victory Bank. All my best. Bye for now.
Thank you for tuning in. Please like, turn on notifications, subscribe, or share. Want to be a guest? Email podcast@tricountyareachamber.com.